Harrow Creek was never meant to grow. It was carved out of the earth the way a wound carves itself into skin, jagged, accidental, infected from the beginning. And like any wound, it festers. A house that hunts, a witness who sees the dead, a sheriff taken by his own investigation. All roads lead back here, to a boy the town swears never existed, a boy the sheriff died trying to save, a boy whose name appears in no database, no school records, no birth certificate. Elias Boone, age 12, missing and somehow always missing. Tonight, we open the fourth tape, and we follow the path of the boy in the cornfield. When Sheriff Reeves vanished, investigators combed through every page of his final notebook. Most of the notes made sense: coordinates, dates, times, descriptions of strange calls. But then the last 20 pages shifted. The handwriting became frantic, slanted, scratched so deep into the paper they nearly tore through. Every page filled with only one name: Elias Boone. Elias Boone, Elias Boone. Sometimes written normally, sometimes carved in all caps, sometimes written backward. And on the last line, underlined 3 times, I finally saw him. He's a child. But that wasn't possible. Harrow Creek has only one school. Teachers were interviewed. No one had ever taught a boy named Elias Boone. Neighbors swore they never saw him. And yet, the sheriff had, and he'd seen enough to die for. Old Briar Road is lined on both sides by cornfields stretching miles. During the day, you could almost believe it's peaceful. Almost. But at night, locals swear the corn whispers. Some say it rustles even when the air is dead still. Others say they've heard their own names spoken back to them. And at least one person, a truck driver passing through at 2 a.m., told deputies the fields shifted like they were breathing. But none of the stories compared to whistleblower Martha Dale's report. She claimed she once saw a shadow the size of a house move through the corn at midnight. Tall, thin, gliding perfectly silent. She described it like this: imagine a man who's stretched like a rope but standing upright and watching you. When deputies followed up the next day, they found nothing except a single small footprint. A child's. 2 weeks after the sheriff vanished, a farmhand named Richard Toller was surveying the fence line. His job was simple: clear out debris, check for coyotes. But at the far edge of the corn, he found something tied to the arm of a broken scarecrow using rusty wire and brittle twine. A weather-beaten handheld camera, still warm, still blinking. Inside was a memory card, and on the back of the camera, written in permanent marker, "If found, follow the trail. Sheriff Reeves." Most files were corrupted, static, black frames, digital noise, but 3 were crystal clear. Sheriff Reeves had captured something, and the first file showed a boy. The first video opened at dusk. Rows of corn glowed gold, swaying gently under a dying sun. Wind carried dust and pollen through the frame. Then, the stalks parted. A small figure stepped out, a boy. Thin, barefoot, wearing a too large flannel shirt, hair messy, skin pale like moonlight. He walked slowly toward the camera, never breaking eye contact. His mouth moved first, silent because the audio was drowned in hissing static. But then the audio snapped back, and his voice whispered, "If someone finds this, don't follow the lights." The screen glitched. The boy vanished. End of file number 1. The sheriff's handwritten note under it read, "He knows something. He's trying to protect us." Locals have talked about the lights for years. Some call them ghost lanterns. Others say they're swamp gas. But those who've seen them closest know better. They float low to the ground, glowing white, then red, then white again. Sometimes one light, sometimes dozens, always moving, always leading deeper into the corn. Kids used to dare each other to follow them. The ones who did came back shaking, crying, unable to explain what they saw, and at least one didn't come back at all. His name was Jeremy Cole. He went missing in 1993. His bike was found at the edge of the corn and carved into the handlebar grip the word, "Follow." Jeremy Cole was never found. But now, watching Elias Boone whisper, "Don't follow the lights," the sheriff realized the truth. The lights weren't guiding anyone, they were bait. The second video began violently. The camera was on the ground, tilted sideways. Something had knocked it over. You heard heavy breathing, not the sheriff's voice, but a frightened, trembling exhale. The corn rustled. Then the boy stepped into frame again, back facing the camera this time. Silent, still, as if he were listening, and far behind him, deeper in the corn, something impossible took shape. A massive figure, tall as a telephone pole, thin as a dying tree trunk, moving without bending a single stalk, no footsteps, no sound, just presence. Elias turned his head slightly, eyes wide, and whispered, "He isn't supposed to be awake yet." The tall figure froze. The stalks around it bowed inward, as though pulled by invisible strings. The screen tore into static. Sheriff Reeves' handwritten note under file number 2 said, "It's not chasing him. He's leading me to it." One thing investigators overlooked was how long Reeves had been tracking the boy. It didn't start with the final week. No, it started months earlier, when a local farmer reported seeing a barefoot child running through the corn at dawn, smiling one second, vanishing the next. Reeves interviewed the farmer at least 5 times, each visit more frantic. He requested additional patrols near the field. He set up trail cameras. He even camped overnight in his cruiser. Over time, his colleagues noticed he stopped sleeping, stopped eating, started sketching the same cornfield over and over in his notepad. He told one deputy, "He needs me. He's stuck there. He can't leave until someone finds him." But when the deputy asked who, Reeves whispered, "Both of them." Both? There were 2? No one pressed him for answers. The final video was nearly 12 minutes long, the longest, clearest, and most disturbing. It began with the sheriff himself holding the camera, running between rows. The stalks scraped against the lens. His breathing was frantic. "Sheriff Reeves! Elias! Talk to me! Just talk to me, kid!" The corn parted ahead. Elias was standing there, closer than ever. Eyes darker, expression empty, not frightened, not angry, just resigned. "Elias, who's in there with you? Tell me." "I was chosen. I've been here longer than you think." The sheriff's voice cracked. "Come with me. Please, your mother." Elias shakes his head. "She doesn't remember me. Nobody does. That's how he keeps us." That last word hangs in the night. Us. More than one child. Something shifts behind them, a long shadow rising vertically, bending slightly as though sniffing the air. The sheriff spins around. You hear a deep humming, low at first, then piercing enough to warp the audio. The hum enters the sheriff's mic like a drill boring into metal. Elias screams, "Don't look at him!" The camera jerks violently. The sheriff shouts in agony. The shadow lunges forward, not running, but stretching, growing taller. The video collapses into streaks of red and black. The last frame shows Elias being pulled backward into the corn by something unseen, and the corn bending over him like a closing mouth. The screen goes black, but audio continues for 5 seconds. Sheriff Reeves whispers, "The corn remembers." End of file number 3. After the files leaked, 2 people came forward. One hunter's testimony. A hunter named Casey Dorman claimed he once saw a boy wandering along the corn line at dawn. He waved, the boy waved back. But when Casey blinked, the boy was suddenly 50 feet closer. Same pose, same expression. The hunter dropped his rifle and ran. 2. The night driver. A truck driver passing through Harrow Creek at 1:43 a.m. reported seeing a boy standing in the middle of Briar Road. He slowed down. The boy lifted his hand and pointed toward the corn. When the driver looked back at the road, the boy was gone. But a second later, his face appeared in the passenger side window, smiling faintly before fading like smoke. The driver quit his job the next day. 2 days later, the sheriff's truck was found abandoned 1 mile from the corn. Engine running. Driver's side door open. Headlights off. Deputies found his flashlight lying in the dirt, still warm. His fingerprints were on the door handle, but none were inside the truck. Instead, on the passenger seat was a final message. The boy isn't missing. He's a warning. No one knows who wrote it. The handwriting wasn't the sheriff's. A broken sprinkler line near the cornfield revealed something in the mud. A rusted voice recorder. Deputies played it. Sheriff Reeves' voice came through, weak, trembling. I followed him too far. I shouldn't have looked at the lights. If you find this, he's not trapped, he's not running, he's showing us what's coming. Static breaks the recording, then a child's whisper. Not Elias, not exactly, he's watching you. The recording ends. The stories of Harrow Creek were never disconnected threads. A house that hunts, a witness with cursed sight, a sheriff who disappears into the dark. Every one of them ties back to this land, to the corn that grows too fast, to the lights that lure, to the shadows that move without wind, to the children no one remembers. Elias Boone may not appear in any official record, but he is a memory the town can't erase, a memory the corn refuses to release. And after hearing this tape, you're a memory it will keep too. This was episode 4, The Boy in the Cornfield, and the next tape takes us deeper than ever before into the roots beneath Harrow Creek. Lights off, volume up, and whatever you do, don't follow the lights.